For this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Dyadic D20 dice set from Tower House Creative. Ta-da! Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming. What you see before you are a couple of unique looking D20 dice that are a part of what is called the D20 Dyadic set. Now, when I first received these dice from Tower House Creative, I have to admit that I was pretty skeptical. After all, I already have plenty of D20s in my dice bag. I have D10s and D100s. Why would I need an additional dice accessory to add to my own gaming? Moreover, these dice introduce a little bit more complexity in the interpretation of rolls. So I also thought to myself, why would I want to have more complexity in my gaming? Shouldn't things be simpler? So you could easily say that my relationship to these dice began from a skeptical position. However, the more that I use these dice and the more that I learn the interpretive rules for them, the more that I started to fall in love with them. And now these dice are the go-to dice that I use for a lot of my solo role-playing. What I'd like to do for you is to just walk you through a bit of the way in which you can use them, some of the interpretations, and give you a few concluding thoughts on their value. The first way that we can use these dice is as D20s. So we can grab either one of these dice and roll it off. Now you will notice there are two different kinds of numbers here on the die. There are the solid numbers, and then there are the numbers with the outlines. Well, the outlines will be your numbers 1 through 10, with a 0 being 10. Your solid numbers will be 11 through 20, with a 0 being 20. Now you might think that this is way too complicated. How are you going to understand that? But it is really quite easy when you get the hang of it. So for example, you can roll it out. You'll see that is immediately an 11. The next number, that's a 14. This would be a 7. This would be a 19. This would be a 13. This would be a 4. This would be a 19. That is a 2. So actually quite easy to interpret and to read the numbers once you figure the system out. A second use for the dice is as a D2. Now you can just roll this off if you want and have odds be 1 and solids be 2. The recommendation for this rule set is that the outlines would be 1, the solids would be 2. So you can roll it off. There's an outline, that is a 1. There's a solid, that would be a 2. A third way to use these dice is as a D10. So go ahead and take one of the dice away. We have 1 through 10 in both solid and in outline. It doesn't really matter here which one you get as far as solid or outline. You can just roll the dice. Remember, 0 is going to always be a 10. So we can roll it off and see there's a 3. That would be a 1. That would be a 1. That would be a 5, so on and so forth. So a very nice, easy way to get a D10. A fourth way in which we can use these dice is as D100s. And here we're going to treat the black die as the 10s and the red die as the 1s. In this case, we don't need to look at the outlines or the solids. We're just looking at the numbers. We'll roll these off and then we'll put them together. This would be a 61. This would be a 15. Once again, notice we're not looking at the solids or the outlines. That doesn't matter. 36, so on and so forth. Pretty easy to read. 26. And like with our D100s, a 0-0 would be a score of 100. Well, there you have it, folks. A quick run through of these dice. What are some drawbacks to the dice? Some drawbacks are obviously it takes a little bit of time to learn how the dice function and to be able to think quickly on the fly. If you're used to other dice systems, it might take a little time for you to shift things around in your brain. But as I've learned, it doesn't take that long. The interpretations come rather naturally if you just learn them and train yourself a little bit. What I really love about these dice, if I'm going to switch over to the positive, is I love the feel of rolling D20s for D100s. I would say that's probably the best part of these dice, is the interpretation of the D100s are super easy. I really love the feel of D20s instead of D10s, and I think it's really easy. I always get a little bit tripped up when I'm rolling D100s and D10s to try and get the numbers together. Here it's really easy. You just remember the black one is always the first number. The red one is your second number, so 98, for example. It goes really quickly, really smoothly. I just like the feel of D20s in my hand for some reason. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's just a personal preference thing. What I also like, though, is that you can use these dice for other purposes, that it's possible to have them as D20s, as D10s, D2s. So there's a lot of multiple multifunctionality with these. In a lot of game systems, you might be able to get by with just 2 dice like this and nothing more. In that case, it's really a great set of dice to have with you in your gaming. Well, there you have it, folks. A quick look at the Dyadic D20 double dice set from Tower House Creative. If you appreciate these short form reviews and you'd like to see more of them in the future, then please do give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, and I will continue to make more videos like this in the future. And most importantly, thank you for joining us here today at Gray Army Gaming for the future of gaming.